The quiet lake. Compared with yesterday, it was almost the same afternoon. The roots of surveillance are emaciated. Staring at the goal for a long time, the result is not much gain. Let the pressure in their hearts be enormous. However, the greater the pressure, the smaller the reward. Watching the day draw to a close as usual, gradually they start to lose focus. Although the dull eyes are looking at the target, it makes people wonder if there is still a target in their eyes. However, there was a sudden cry. Let this pool of stagnant water be awakened suddenly. The two people at the root shook violently, and their bodies almost fell out of their hiding places. What happened? What did he just say? Made it. What did you make it? Is it ninjutsu? The two couldn't help but tense up. It was actually guessed by Mr. Danzo. Naruto is really practicing some kind of ninjutsu. Look. What kind of ninjutsu is it? The expressions of the two of them froze immediately, and they quickly looked at the target, Uzumaki Naruto. I saw Naruto, who was sitting quietly on the rock by the lake, had stood up now. He had a faint smile on his face. Stare into the distance. There was a scarlet light in his eyes. Wait. This is? Sharingan. Uchiha's Sharingan. How is this possible? The two people looked at each other in astonishment, and they both saw the horror in each other's eyes. Why? Why does Uzumaki Naruto have a Sharingan of the Uchiha clan? Isn't that the blood succession boundary of the Uchiha clan? The two carefully read it several times to make sure that they read it correctly. Naruto's eyes really turned red. Moreover, there is a coercion. This moment. The roots of the two monitors only feel that the three views are shattered. This Uzumaki Naruto, sitting here meditating, practicing ninjutsu, did not expect to practice a pair of Sharingan. This situation is really shocking, unbelievable, unheard of. This is really unbelievable. The dog's head swallowed a mouthful of saliva in panic, and the face of the fox next to it was also trembling, almost unable to stand still. Master Danzo must be notified immediately. This is great news. It's the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my life. The two of them didn't stop, they disappeared in place. Return to root headquarters as quickly as possible. Master Danzo. We have something to report. Danzo saw the two of them coming back together, and stood there immediately. What's up? Is something wrong with Naruto? Go-To-Gen and Fox-To-Gen looked at each other, then Go-To-Gen swallowed his saliva and said very hard. Master Danzo, Naruto, he has practiced writing, Sharingan. Hearing this, Danzo's expression was still a bit confused. Because he wasn't sure if he had stayed in this basement for a long time, and his brain was not clear enough, so he had auditory hallucinations. What did you just say? Say it again, and speak slowly. The root of the dog's head wiped the sweat from his chin, and said in an incomprehensible tone of extreme panic and shock. Uzumaki Naruto, he cultivated a pair of Sharingan, Uchiha's Sharingan. After hearing, Danzo's eyes widened suddenly, and he took a few steps back in a bewildered expression. What is the situation? Sharingan. Naruto cultivated Sharingan. How the hell is this possible? Danzo's breathing began to become rapid, and his chest was beating violently. He is very aware of one of his subordinates who has been cultivated since childhood. Be loyal and responsible. They will definitely not risk their lives to pass back this kind of information that looks like fake news. So there is only one possibility. That's true. Naruto really cultivated Sharingan, but how is this possible? Sharingan is exclusive to the Uchiha clan. It's the bloodline boundary. Inherited along with the blood. How could it be possible to awaken through a third-party practice? You too? Did you really see clearly? Is that really a Sharingan? Danzo asked tremblingly. At this time, the clothes of the two roots were already soaked. Seeing such outrageous things, they also feel that their three views are ruined. It's true. Master Danzo. It's hard to understand, but Uzumaki Naruto has indeed cultivated Sharingan. We've taken a closer look, and there's Otomo. Seeing the seriousness of his subordinates, almost swearing with their lives, Danzo no longer questioned. Real. Did such an outrageous thing really happen? I can't sit idly by anymore. I want to see it myself. Soon. Danzo personally came to the lake where Naruto repair shop. Naruto meditated on the rocks by the lake as usual. Only this time he didn't open his eyes, but closed them. Could it really be Sharingan? Is there really such a bizarre thing? An ordinary person can rely on cultivation to awaken the blood of the Uchiha family? Danzo's heart was beating wildly. He can be regarded as an old Jonghu, and his scientific knowledge in the ninja world can barely be regarded as a grandmaster. But I've never heard of such an outrageous thing. Sharingan, can it be obtained through practice? Wouldn't it be that he also? I kept guessing in my heart. And at this moment, Naruto in the distance also sensed Danzo's arrival. Of course he knew what Danzo was here for, and that's exactly what he planned. Therefore, Naruto cooperated extremely and opened his eyes suddenly at this moment. Sharingan activates. The pupils that should have been blue were suddenly taken over by red. With scarlet and coquettish pupils, a black jade appeared. It is an authentic Yiguyu Sharingan. Seeing this scene, Danzo, who was staring closely, was completely dumbfounded. It's really Sharingan. But how is this possible? How on earth did he do it? Now Danzo was completely confused. Naruto's situation, he has never encountered it in his life for so long. My own 3 views have also collapsed, with shock and confusion. Danzo went back in a daze, in the dim hall of Root headquarters. Danzo sat on the seat, his brain was like a paste, and his thoughts were chaotic. Sharingan is the blood successor limit of the Uchiha clan, and can only be awakened after special conditions. Naruto is the son of Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, so it is certain that Naruto has no Uchiha lineage. And his usual eyes are blue, completely different from the black of the Uchiha clan. Therefore, the possibility of him stealing other people's Sharingan and installing it quietly for himself is also ruled out. Besides, people who are not from the Uchiha family, after installing the Sharingan, they cannot be closed, just like Kakashi. So, Naruto's Sharingan is really a result of cultivation. This is too outrageous. Sharingan can produce like this? But why was he able to awaken? Could it be related to his practice in the past 2 weeks? Danzo has completely fallen into the pit. He opened Anbu's report and studied it carefully. For 2 weeks, Naruto remained motionless, staring at the lake without even blinking. Could it be that Naruto trained Sharingan in this way? A guess appeared in Danzo's mind that he himself felt unreliable. That's it. Just by staring at the lake? Can you practice Sharingan? Danzo was very reluctant to believe it. But no matter what he thinks, there is only such a possibility. Think here. Danzo silently closed the report. His chaotic thoughts began to calm down because of the sudden greed in his heart. He has long been spying on the power of the Sharingan. If he was able to cultivate a pair of extremely powerful Sharingan, at that time, it will be as easy as pie to sit on the position of Hokage. Think here. Danzo couldn't help but get excited. However, it was only excited for 2 or 3 seconds, and soon calmed down. After all, he is the leader of the Root, and he is resourceful and scheming. He needs to figure out the specific situation of this matter first, and then practice by himself. But he wasn't fit to show up either. Therefore, he needs someone to replace him to spy on the method of practicing Sharingan. Think here. He raised his hand slightly and said softly, "Bring him here." Yes. Someone in the dark responded. Without even asking, it's like knowing who Danzo is talking about. Not long after, a pale boy was brought before Danzo. The boy had no expression on his face. When he saw Danzo, he knelt down on one knee and said in a low voice, "Master Danzo." Danzo nodded, looking down at the boy. "Sai, I have a task for you. You should know the 9 tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Naruto in the village, right? I want you to approach him and find out how he cultivated Sharingan." Sai nodded calmly. Doesn't seem to realize how appalling it is that someone with the surname Uzumaki has a Sharingan. Asterisk 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 boom, boom, crackling. A series of sounds exploded. The practice field has gone through all kinds of devastation and has become dilapidated. The ground is uneven, with a large number of pits that have been blown out. Many shurikens were stuck on the targets scattered all over the place. All hit the target with precision, regardless of the power from the size of the pit, or the accuracy of the shuriken hitting the bullseye. Anyone with a discerning eye would feel that this person must be very powerful. 1.2 But obviously, the people who made it all don't think so. Damn it. Sasuke raised his head to the sky and let out an angry roar. His face was full of dissatisfaction. There are thick dark circles around his eyes. It can be seen how hard he has been working recently. But I have worked hard for so long. He still couldn't surpass Naruto. This is literally tarnishing his Uchiha genius name. If this continues, Uchiha Sasuke will become a laughing stock sooner or later. He will never allow this to happen. Huffing. Sasuke propped his hands on his knees, panting continuously. He was almost exhausted. His body shook slightly, and he finally couldn't support himself and fell to the ground. His eyes were blurred, and the glare of the sun prevented him from seeing anything else. He raised his hand, blocking his view. He gritted his teeth tightly. There was even blood flowing from the corner of his mouth, which showed how much effort he had used. Why am I, Uchiha's genius, not as good as that guy? What exactly went wrong? Obviously everyone in the village hated him before. Why all of a sudden, he became everyone's focus? I cannot be reconciled. I should be the genius who gets the most attention. Not his despised fellow. Everything about him should be mine. Strong resentment bubbled from his heart. The chakra in his brain mutated and turned into a strange force that merged into his eyes. The body's reaction made Sasuke feel the abnormality of the eyes immediately. What happened? He covered his eyes, a little panicked. Could it be that I practiced too hard and my body was too tired? He is afraid. I am afraid that my eyes will become blind because of the crazy training during this period. This is something he absolutely cannot accept. Sitting up suddenly from the ground, Sasuke was panicked, covering his eyes with his hands. He could clearly feel that there was something abnormal about his eyes. With a trace of fear, he slowly moved his hands away. However, the expected blurred vision did not appear. When normal people look at things after holding down their eyes, there will be a period of fuzzy adaptation. But he is different. Even after being blocked, his vision is still very clear. It was even clear that there were some abnormalities, some of which made him unable to react. What happened? Sasuke raised his head in fear and looked into the distance. The leaves are shaken by the wind, the flying insects are jumping among the leaves, the birds are rushing through the leaves. All of these were clearly reflected in his eyes. Could it be? Have I opened my eyes? Suspicious in his heart, Sasuke immediately ran wildly and ran to a small stream. Squatting down, through the reflection of the water surface, he saw that his originally black pupils had turned scarlet. Red pupils. A single black bead hangs alone at the lower corner of the eyes. Although it was only the first single bead, it still deeply shocked Sasuke's little heart. It is the legendary Sharingan. It turned out to be Sharingan. I actually opened my eyes. As a member of the Uchiha clan, he certainly knows how difficult it is to open his eyes. Strong mood swings are necessary to stimulate the brain and stimulate the eyes before opening the eyes. In the entire ethnic group, there are probably only half of the clansmen who have opened their eyes. Sasuke's father is the patriarch, and his big brother Itachi started Sharingan when he was 8 years old. He is the son of the patriarch and the younger brother of Itachi. There is invisible pressure in my heart, although no one asked him anything. But he is very strict with himself, now. He opened his eyes at the age of 6, even 2 years earlier than his big brother. This made Sasuke's lost self-confidence come back in an instant. Ha ha ha. I am indeed a genius, Sharingan. This is our strongest treasure in Uchiha. It's awakened now. As long as I get a little proficient, my strength will be greatly improved. Naruto. Just wait and see. Although you are stronger than me now, it won't take long before I will leave you far away. Everything that belongs to me, I will take it back. The rain stopped and the sky cleared. Sasuke felt that he could do it again. The previous exhaustion had already been left behind by him. All he wanted now was to familiarize himself with the power of the Sharingan as quickly as possible. Then show your strength by leaps and bounds in front of Naruto. Use your strength to tell Naruto who is the real genius. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. The other side. Forest training ground. Choji, the control is too low to qualify. Little Sakura is doing well, keep up the good work. Tooth. You pinched it too rough. Are you a spider? How can there be spiders with 8 legs of different lengths? Hinata continues to work hard, and there is still room for improvement. Because of the money received, Naruto conscientiously patrolled behind the Xiaoqiangs. Give him valuable advice when they are practicing. With his earnest efforts, the blasting skills of the little fishes are getting better day by day. Although it is not comparable to Naruto, but at this age, it is already very good. Certainly. This is also because they were all drawn out by Naruto with an unyielding heart. Even if they know they can't compare to Naruto, they don't want to lose to others. If you can't compete for the first place, can't you still compete for the second place? It is this kind of stubbornness that made them grit their teeth and persist until now. Just when everyone was practicing in full swing and the roar kept ringing, a pale figure approached quietly behind Xiao Chang. Who are you? Choji frowned at Sai, who was all in black. Hearing Choji's words, the others realized that someone was approaching, and they all stopped their movements. But they were not on guard, because Sai is a kid around their age. Hello. I'm a backup member of Anbu. I heard that ninjutsu is being taught here. I want to learn it. I wonder if you can teach me? Sai showed a fake smile and said. Naruto couldn't help twitching his mouth when he saw his smirk. Under Danzo's training, many root members lost their feelings. That's why Sai's smile is so easy to see through at a glance. But he didn't say it. Comparing this smile with that navel-bearing outfit, it can be regarded as Sai's only characteristic. The Xiaoqiangs behind him immediately surrounded him curiously. Wow, you are Anbu's backup at such a young age? If you can become Anbu's backup, then you are not very good. Why follow us to learn ninjutsu? Why are you wearing a navel-bearing dress? Don't you think it's a bitch? Hey, your skin is too fair, isn't it? It's even whiter than little Sakura and the girls. What's your name? Xiaoqiang came over to continue communicating with Sai one after another, which made Sai very embarrassed. Because he didn't know how to answer some questions at all. People who are relatively rooted are born to be trained as command machines. As for Naruto, after seeing Sai, he knew at a glance that he must be sent by Danzo. There is no need to think about the purpose, it is definitely not in the blasting technique. If Danzo is really interested in blasting, why didn't he send someone before? He has been teaching for such a long time, so he thought of sending someone over? Therefore, the purpose of Sai being sent must be to find out from him why he was able to open the Sharingan. But just right. This is exactly what Naruto is for. Danzo, he is too idle every day. The third generation is preparing lessons for them every day. If you don't find him some unsolved mysteries of human beings and let him relieve his boredom, how can he make it through? Although it's the first time I've seen you, since you are a member of Konoha and you are so self-motivated, I naturally won't refuse. Let me teach you. After hearing Naruto's words, Zuo breathed a sigh of relief. The first goal of approaching Naruto is considered accomplished. The next thing is to find time to learn about his mission goals from Naruto. Saying that, Naruto took Sai aside. You are a beginner, and you are not on the same track as them. So, I need to teach you individually. If your talent is good, you might be able to catch up with them. Hearing the individual guidance, Zuo's eyes lit up. Wouldn't that give him more chances? Think like this. Sai continued with that smirk. That's really bothering you. Naruto nodded, then took out the clay, ready to start teaching. But at this moment, whoosh whoosh, a series of hidden weapons flew past where Naruto was standing. If Naruto hadn't used the evasion technique, he would have been stabbed by now. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Who is sneak attacking? Seeing Naruto being attacked, 377 little Sakura hurriedly went to Naruto's side and grabbed his arm. Ino, who was a step behind, felt bitter in his heart, and quickly grabbed the other arm. Fine. Naruto shook his head lightly and said. Then, he looked in the direction from which the hidden weapon came. Come out, Sasuke, I know it's you. Finished. A figure walked over proudly with his hands in his pockets. It's Sasuke, who I haven't seen for a long time. Sasuke's haughty character basically won't practice in front of Naruto. Only when he was stuck at a critical point would he look at it reluctantly. So Naruto hasn't seen Sasuke for a long time. But I didn't expect Sasuke to attack him suddenly. And looking at that proud posture, it is obvious that there has been a lot of improvement. This made Naruto a little curious. Sasuke, why did you attack Naruto? It's too dangerous. Tooth said with a dissatisfied face. Neji also frowned and said, if Naruto hadn't escaped, you would have become a sinner who killed people in the same village. Shikamaru put his head in his hands and said helplessly, although I know you want to test Naruto's evasion technique, there's no need to be so extreme, right? You know you can't hit it, right? Listening to a group of Xiaoqiang's doubts, Sasuke snorted coldly and said proudly, if he can't escape even this, he doesn't deserve to be my opponent. And I have avoided the vital point, even if he didn't avoid it, he wouldn't die. Others wanted to say something, but Sasuke stopped drinking immediately. Let's stop talking nonsense. Naruto, I came to you today to show you the results of my cultivation these days. After my hard work, body flicker technique, Minli sword technique and dodge have all been greatly improved. Xiao practiced blasting technique, so he neglected these scriptures, right? Let you see my current strength. Seeing Sasuke's crazy look, Choji asked suspiciously. Didn't you already show it when you were in school? How long has passed, even if there is an improvement? Ya also looked speechless. Indeed, it's only been a few days, how much difference can there be? Faced with doubts, if it is the usual Sasuke, he will definitely be frustrated. But now, Sasuke faced it proudly, because he has full confidence. Even if he really hasn't surpassed Naruto yet. But with Sharingan's advantage, he will surpass Naruto sooner or later. So, after mastering the power of Sharingan, he couldn't wait to run over. Want to show off in front of Naruto? Then let everyone know that I am the strongest talent in Konoha village. Sasuke didn't say anything, just slowly closed his eyes. Then, it opened suddenly. Everyone was still puzzled. Why did Sasuke suddenly close his eyes? Could it be that you were too tired and planned to take a nap for a while? Then he suddenly opened his eyes. Some people were taken aback, while others looked at Sasuke curiously. So they all saw Sasuke's eyes at this time. Hiss. Am I reading that right? So, that's the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan? This is the first time I've seen it. Is this Sharingan? Is there only one Tomo? Why does it look weird? I remember, the earliest person in the Uchiha clan who opened his eyes was 8 years old, right? Really? Isn't Sasuke too powerful? Sasuke is only 6 years old. He opened his eyes? He is indeed a genius of the Uchiha clan. Damn it. Eyes opened at the age of 6. What kind of monster is this? Everyone sighed in shock. Not only ordinary Xiaoqiangs, Uchiha Xiaoqiangs are even more shocking. Open your eyes. This can be said to be the most important snow in the life of Uchiha people. Once you open your eyes, your strength will increase exponentially, the difficulty of learning ninjutsu will be greatly reduced, and you will see the world from a different perspective. Ordinary people have to be 17 or 18 years old to open their eyes, and some people even have to be 20 or 30 years old to open their eyes. There are still many people who have spent their entire lives in poverty and cannot open their eyes. But Sasuke, she opened her eyes when she was only 6 years old. 2 years earlier than his genius big brother. Simply a monster. Seeing the surprised expressions of a group of people, Sasuke suddenly became more proud. He hadn't experienced this feeling of being surrounded by everyone in admiration for a long time. Ever since Naruto started involuntarily, everyone's eyes fell on Naruto all the time. And he, the majestic Uchiha genius, fell into a state of being ignored by no one. But now everything is different. After opening his eyes, he has already risen. He is now going to prove to everyone that he is the most talented one in their class. I have only just become familiar with the power of these eyes, but the improvement it has given me is already enormous. Now let you see how powerful Uchiha's Sharingan is. Sasuke held his head proudly, like a proud peacock. All eyes were on him, with curiosity and shock. Even Naruto's expression was slightly surprised. Good guy. Sasuke has been involved too much, have you been so angry? Naruto complained inwardly. Sasuke saw Naruto's expression. It's as if you have eaten ice cream that refreshes your body and mind in the dog days, and you feel extremely refreshed. Subsequently, he started the demonstration this time. In a flash, the body flicker technique started at an extremely fast speed. Used it several times almost in the blink of an eye. And every time he uses it, there will be nothing left in the place where he stayed. Some are on the trunk, some are on the ground, and some are among the branches. The position, angle and height are not uniform. This made it even more difficult for him. This is the shuriken technique he learned from his big brother Itachi. By virtue of the collision between the shurikens can be hit at positions that cannot be hit normally. Then, without waiting for everyone to marvel at his body flicker technique, he took out Yimu Kunai and shuriken. Quickly flung it out. Under his Sharingan's powerful dynamic vision, the shurikens drew lines one after another, and changed their course after colliding in the air. After that, they hit the bull's eye of all the targets almost in no particular order. Wow! See Sasuke in action. Everyone opened their mouths in shock. What a strong shuriken technique. It even hit the bull's eye exactly in that position. Is this the power of the Sharingan? It's too scary. I always feel like I'm almost catching up with Naruto's shuriken technique. Naruto is a bit stronger, but the shuriken technique shown by Sasuke is indeed stronger than what was shown before. Sasuke has also evolved. It has reached a level that none of us can keep up with. There was a lot of discussion, and as the protagonist being discussed, Sasuke's face is full of excitement. Although he is still not as good as his big brother Itachi, this unique shuriken technique is enough to shock the boxing arena. But it's not over yet. Sasuke looked at the Xiaoqiangs, raised his head slightly and said, "Come on together, I will dodge your attacks." Shikamaru frowned, took out a ball of clay and asked, "You sure?" Sasuke's eyelids jumped, and he said hastily, "I mean close combat, ninjutsu and illusion are not allowed." Shikamaru shook his head regretfully, and put the clay away. Subsequently, Sasuke was surrounded by individuals. Then the siege began. But Sasuke, who turned on the Sharingan, dodged all the attacks in a calm manner. He can always confirm the attacking route of Xiaoqiang at the fastest speed, and then find the best way to dodge. After being besieged for a minute, he was unharmed. Everyone stopped in shock. So strong. The bonus of Sharingan's dynamic vision to physical skills is too strong. It is said that the mighty Sharingan is even able to copy someone else's ninjutsu just by looking at their knuckles. The talent of the Uchiha family is really enviable. Sharingan, one of the two pupil techniques, is really too strong. I am so envious. Aren't you envious? This is the limit of blood successors of the Uchiha clan. However, you can consider marrying someone from the Uchiha clan, so that your child may awaken the Sharingan. It's impossible for me to give up on Naruto-kun, you just die of this heart, wide forehead. HMPH. I won't give up. Ino pig. The shock of the crowd is the greatest compliment to Sasuke. Sigh on the side, everyone is numb. What's the situation? Konoha's current children, are they all so strong? It was obvious that Sai, a countryman, had never seen the world. After all, before this, he stayed at the root to study and almost never went out. But today, he has completely gained knowledge. It's a bit ruined. The strength displayed by this group of Xiaoqiang can no longer be described with exaggeration. Tough. Sharp. Even better than the seniors who taught him, his skills are even better. On the training ground, Sasuke was slightly out of breath and a little tired, but his body was still upright. Turning his head to look at Naruto, Sasuke's face was full of complacency, and the corner of his mouth curled up in a proud arc. See? This is all my strength. Are you too scared to speak? Now you know who is the real genius. It's me, Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke shouted triumphantly in his heart. At this moment, he deeply felt the feeling of elation. Not easy. It's really not easy. For this day, he stayed up so many nights. He worked so hard in training. Finally, he harvested the perfect fruit. Even Naruto was too scared to speak by him. At this moment, Sasuke felt that his life was almost perfect. But at this moment, Naruto, who had been silent all this time, suddenly shook his head, frowning and speaking slowly. You Sharingan, it's not enough. It hasn't worked out yet. Hearing this, Sasuke was stunned for a moment, and then asked a little incomprehensibly. Hey, what are you talking about, Naruto? You are an outsider. Why do you say that you know Sharingan very well? Because I have it too. Saying that, Naruto slowly closed his eyes. When everyone saw it, they couldn't help being taken aback. Long Nuos, what's going on? How can you close your eyes? Sasuke just closed his eyes and opened them to reveal Sharingan. You can't have a Sharingan even if you close your eyes and open them. Sharingan is the privilege of the Uchiha clan. The public feels a little inexplicable. Sasuke looked at Naruto, his heart began beating violently, and he panicked a lot. What's the meaning? He said he did too. What does he have? Sharingan. No, how is this possible? He is not from our Uchiha clan. How could there be a Sharingan? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Reassuring himself in his heart, Sasuke's eyes fixed on Naruto. However, the next second, Naruto suddenly opened his eyes. The original blue and pure eyes disappeared, replaced by a pair of scarlet and bewitching red eyes. This moment, everyone at the scene was completely dumbfounded. Then, everyone burst into loud exclamations. I rely on. What happened? Why is Naruto Sharingan again? Am I dazzled? This is really a Sharingan. But why? Does Naruto still have the blood of the Uchiha clan? No. Uchiha doesn't have blonde hair. Damn. What happened? Crazy. This moment, everyone at the scene seemed to have seen a ghost. Shocked and confused, they all rushed up to observe Naruto's Sharingan. Naruto, why do you have Sharingan? Are you actually from the Uchiha clan? But why isn't your surname Uchiha? Impossible. Naruto's hair and eyes are totally different from Uchiha's. That's right. Everyone in Uchiha has black hair and black eyes. Naruto has yellow hair and blue eyes, definitely not Uchiha. Then how do you explain Naruto's Sharingan? Is it a genetic mutation? Oh my god. Naruto-kun's Sharingan is so handsome. Dude, I thought Sasuke's pair was the only one, but you're here again? Facing everyone's doubts, Naruto smiled without saying a word. He just looked at Sasuke silently. At this time, Sasuke only felt his eyes go dark. Almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. Why? What is the situation? Why does Naruto also have Sharingan? Sasuke's heart is full of grief and indignation. He stared firmly at Naruto's eyes, trying to see a little flaw. But the powerful dynamic vision tells him that Naruto's Sharingan is real. Fake Sharingan. Here. Sasuke felt the desperation wrapping around him. The Sharingan, which was finally awakened, didn't warm up, just pretended to be coercive once, and it was broken by you. You also took out a pair together. How much do you have left? I'll just show it once. How much you can learn depends on your luck. Naruto patted Sasuke on the shoulder. Next second, with a flash of his hands, the dark room was already covered with kunai and shurikens. Then, give it a hard shake. Suddenly, the crisp sound of gold and iron clashing resounded in the air. It's not over yet. Naruto quickly took out a kunai and shuriken again and threw them out. The speed is fast. Everyone couldn't see kunai and shuriken at all. Only the sound of their collision can be heard in the air. The crisp sound seems to be playing a piece of music. Only Sasuke, who owns the Sharingan, can see clearly the hidden weapons in the air. But after seeing it, his eyes widened in shock. The difficulty displayed by Naruto is even higher than he imagined. After these hidden weapons collided more than a dozen times in the air, the regiments flew towards their respective targets. Beep 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 beep. The sound of hitting the target paper appeared continuously, full of rhythm. Everyone looked at it one after another and was amazed. All hits. There are several more than before Sasuke. To make hidden weapons intersect continuously in the air, and then change positions to hit these tricky targets. Damn it. Isn't this amazing? It's really too strong. Although I still have a long way to go, I will never give up, and I will definitely make this stronger. I feel like my fighting spirit is going to be ignited. Burn, my youth. This exquisite control, and this beautiful tune. I didn't expect Naruto-kun to be a grandmaster. Naruto-kun is so talented. Amid the admiration of the crowd, Sasuke's face turned dark. But it wasn't because Naruto was in the spotlight again. Of course, there is still a part. But mostly, because he found out and others didn't. A group of idiots who haven't even discovered the real difficulty, so don't yell here. Sasuke said impatiently. Neji sensed something was wrong and let out a low, "Aye" cry. Blind eyes. Veins popped out of the eyes, and the surrounding vision was immediately reflected in his eyes. There are no dead ends. Subsequently, he was horrified to see the target paper behind trees or rocks. And those target papers are places that they can't see in their line of sight. On the bullseye of those target papers, there is a kunai or a shuriken sticking out impressively. Closing his eyes, Neji ran over quickly in disbelief. Everyone was wondering about Sasuke's attitude. As a result, seeing Neji's movements, they all realized that something was wrong. So follow up to have a look. F*K. There are places like this? Is this okay too? Can Kakuzu, who has no vision, hit? How does this work? Isn't this too scary? Even enemies who are hiding can be hit. I didn't expect to use hidden weapons to play faintly, which is already a stunt, and I didn't expect to be able to do this. It's amazing. It's not something humans can do. Sasuke's legs started to go weak. Naruto's strength has improved a lot compared to before. Almost improved a generation. Then, boom. Naruto split 20 shadow clone. 10 melee, 10 long range, clear division of labor. Boom boom boom. The battle begins. The cooperation between the 20 shadow clone is incomparable. The avatar who throws the hidden weapon in the distance will use the hidden weapon to force the dodge space. The people in close combat rushed forward at this time, further compressing the space. Everyone's scalp was numb, and Sasuke's face was also dark. He knew that in the face of this level of siege, it was absolutely impossible for him to survive. But Naruto, like a duck to water, is free, after a full minute. Naruto lifted Shadow Clone. Close your eyes, then open them again. The pupils have returned to the color of sky blue. It's amazing. The strength is almost twice as strong as before. It's scary, but it's amazing. Much better than Sasuke's. A group of people exclaimed wildly and rushed forward. Sasuke's face darkened, and he couldn't help leaning forward. Mr. Ming, how did your Sharingan awaken? You are not Uchiha, but you can awaken. Do you have a special method? Sasuke got to the point. The faces of the others were also full of curiosity. However, in the face of everyone's questioning and Yuan Chu, Naruto just crossed his arms and shook his head decisively. This is confidential, and you can't tell others casually. Hearing this, instead of giving up, the group of people became even more excited. Naruto-kun, tell us. Yes, Naruto, teach us. I beg you. Brother Naruto, as long as you can teach me to awaken the Sharingan, I can do whatever you want. Naruto. As long as you can teach me to awaken the Sharingan, I will be your son. Naruto. I let you that. A group of Xiaoqiang are going crazy. Little Sakura and Ino played the clip sound coquettishly. Those Xiaoqiang from common people are hugging their thighs and calling them big brothers. Just other skills, but this is Sharingan. Just thought the opportunity to master the Sharingan was at hand. How could they just give up? Yet no matter how they plead and plead. Naruto is a hard-hearted performance. It's a secret, it's a secret. Sharingan is something that everyone in the ninja world wants to get. If you little devils get it, you will be killed. Maybe he is still a living person today, but Naruto will become a corpse with his eyes gouged out. After hearing Naruto's explanation, everyone was startled. It seems. That's right. Sharingan is not something everyone dares to have. Especially little ones like them. Those of the Uchiha clan, awakening the Sharingan, due in part to age and excess strength. Have the ability to protect themselves. But if these brats, awaken. Even if it is really a disaster, then a blessing. Time passed slowly, as the sun goes down. Night also fell on Konoha village a little bit. The sounds on the street became much less. Everyone has returned to the village, and most of them are already preparing their last meal of the day. The same is true for Naruto, but while he was preparing dinner, there was a knock on the door. Naruto frowned slightly. At this time, usually no one will come to him. Apart from the third generation, there is almost no one else. However, the knock on the door was not his auditory hallucination. There was indeed a person at the door waiting for him to come and open the door. Observation Haki opened. The situation outside the door was immediately on Naruto's mind. So he saw Sai standing at the door, with his characteristic fake smile. Sai comes to touch himself with a quest given by Danzo. Naruto is well aware of this, but he didn't expect that after the day passed. It's only night, so I can't wait to come over. Look at Sai carrying a lot of things in big and small bags. Obviously, well prepared. Yo, it's Sai. Opening the door, Naruto looked at Sai in surprise. Sai lowered his head, then smiled and lifted the things in his hand. Hi Naruto. This is a present. I heard that when visiting a friend's house for the first time, it is polite to bring some gifts appropriately. These are some necessities I have prepared. It happens to be dinner time, so I went and bought your favorite Ichiraku ramen. Well, can I go in? After bringing Sai home, Naruto made him a cup of tea. Then, there was no pleasantries at all, just asking about the purpose of coming. You brought so many gifts here, shouldn't you just visit the door? Naruto stared at Sai with a half-smile expression and said. In fact, he already knew in his heart what Sai wanted to inquire about. However, for the sake of reality, he still acted. Moreover, Sai was so generous that he didn't expect it. It seems that Danzo has prepared as much money as he wants to get out of his own secret. This is not a good squeeze. How do you live? If you can tell me the reason why Naruto-kun's eyes became Sharingan, then I will be happy. So, you want to learn about the Sharingan's secrets? Naruto glanced past those gifts and shook his head dissatisfied. That alone might not be enough. Hearing Naruto's words, Sai froze slightly. Okay. This guy Naruto, so he is quite greedy? But just wondering for a moment, Zuo immediately asked with a smirk. Hey, the ceremony is indeed a bit too light. Then how can you tell me? Excuse me, I'm really curious. Sai showed a sincere look. Naruto smiled. The fish has been hooked. Now it depends on what price Danzo is willing to pay. After looking at Sai up and down, Naruto also began to show off his acting skills. Look at you. Tien hands are very generous. In this case, invite me to ramen for a few days first, I'm thinking about it. No problem. Sai readily agreed. Then, he left Naruto's house. After walking out of the room and turning around, the smile on Sai's face faded instantly. He left with a blank expression, without the slightest intention of entanglement. In his view, Naruto has already made a condition. What he has to do is to bring Naruto's conditions back to Danzo, and then Danzo will decide. Soon, Sai returned to the root headquarters. In the shadows, Danzo has been waiting for a long time. Seeing Sai coming back, he couldn't wait to ask. How? Did you find out how he cultivated into a Sharingan? Sai shook his head. Target declined. Danzo frowned, feeling a little dissatisfied. If you refuse, won't you ask again? Why did you come back after rejecting it? As soon as Danzo thought about it, Sai continued. Although I refused, however, he put forward conditions. Danzo was overjoyed. Condition? Open conditions are good. If the conditions are met, it means that there is really a way to practice Sharingan. That being the case, no matter what the price is, he will get this method to the end. At that time, a pair of strong Sharingan will be his biggest boost to compete for the position of Hokage. Immediately follow up. What conditions? Sai said with a blank face. Target asked me to treat him to ramen noodles for a few days, and then I thought about whether to tell me the answer. Upon hearing this condition, Danzo's brows tightened. Not too difficult, but too easy. As this kind of thing that can be solved with a few hundred taels of silver also called a condition? Danzo's first reaction was impossible. When something goes wrong, there must be a demon. With such a simple condition, Naruto must have set a trap. Danzo squinted his eyes, thinking he had seen through Naruto's trick. HMPH. Do you want to delay the time? Please ramen for a few days. Does that mean don't ask for a few days? In that case, then I'll just ask you all at once. Giving you no reason to procrastinate, Danzo sneered, then said. Sai, agree to his request, but follow my method. Sai's mechanical nod. Yes. Soon came the second day. Early in the morning. At this time, the sun has gradually risen. If it is usual. At this time, Naruto had already left the house. But Naruto deliberately waited at home today. Because he knew that Sai would definitely come to him. He wants to see how Danzo responds. Then, when Sai stood at the door, raising his hand to knock on the door, he opened the door directly. Sai froze, but luckily the smirk on his face was ready before knocking on the door. So he didn't panic. Naruto looked up and down, then asked with a frown. You came so early, are you going to treat me to ramen? Sai said with a smile. I've already bought you a whole year's worth of ramen at Ichiraku ramen shop. You can eat whenever you want. Hear this. Naruto couldn't help being slightly stunned. Good guy, this Danzo is rolled up. He may think that he is procrastinating for time, but in the end he is mistaken for his cleverness. Give away a year's ramen money for nothing. Now, can you tell me the answer? Sai couldn't wait. And at this time, Naruto, how could he let Danzo go so easily? Just kidding, Xiaoqiang and the others practiced, but they all paid tuition. Can Danzo still fall? With a sigh, Naruto showed dissatisfaction in his eyes. Sai didn't understand, but asked anyway. What's wrong? Any more questions? Naruto didn't speak, just raised his hand to cover his cheek. Only then did Sai realize that Naruto was wearing some worn-out clothes. There are a lot of open seams at the cuffs. Obviously this dress has been worn for a long time. Naruto sighed and spoke slowly. Sai, I've been busy practicing recently, so I didn't even notice that my clothes were torn. The furniture at home has been used for so many years, and it should be replaced. I don't know if any kind person can help. As he spoke, his eyes kept flicking to Sai. No matter how dull Sai was, he understood what Naruto meant. However, as a toolman, he has no right to make decisions. He needs to refer Danzo to this matter, so, he said with a smile, I need to think about it. Naruto said with a smile when he heard it. Then think about it slowly, I won't send you off. Bang. The door is closed. Sai got the second rejection. But he doesn't care. Anyway, I am a toolman. As long as the task can be completed, he is willing to do anything. Use your life to serve Master Danzo. This is the way of root ninja survival. Soon. Sai returned to the root headquarters again. Danzo looked puzzled when he saw Sai. Didn't you just go out not long ago? Come back so soon? Could it be that Naruto has already told you the method? Danzo suddenly became excited. How? Did he tell you? Sai shook his head. Not at all. Danzo's mood suddenly plummeted. Then what are you doing back here? Sai said flatly. Goals set new demands. Danzo frowned, feeling that something was wrong. What request? Sai said. The target said that the clothes were worn out, and the furniture at home was also very old. I think it was because I wanted to replace the furniture and new clothes. When Danzo heard it, his whole head buzzed. After being dazed for a moment, he gritted his teeth. This kid. He actually pushes an inch. Danzo hardened his fist. He didn't expect that this Naruto actually learned how to ask for a price. Not enough ramen for a year. Now you still have to buy clothes and furniture for him? Although I am very angry. However, because of the success of Sharingan's cultivation method. Danzo could only bear it. You can figure it out, and use the organization's funds. Sai nodded and turned to leave. But Danzo suddenly remembered a situation and quickly called Sai to stop. Etc. Clothes must be expensive, but cheap. For furniture, directly contact the people in the furniture city. If Naruto wants any furniture, let him come to get it directly. Don't let him find an opportunity to be dissatisfied. Sai nodded in understanding. Then leave. This time Danzo didn't stop him. And Danzo is still congratulating himself on his wit. That kid actually set up a trap here. If I take some bargains, he will definitely deny it. This time I'll just take the best one. Let's see how you renege. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise this kid would have succeeded. As expected of me. Sharingan's cultivation method, I, Danzo, must win. It was sunny and sunny. The breeze brushed Sai's cheeks, blowing his bangs. Originally, he should have paid a visit early in the morning. But he was picky when he picked out clothes. Shopping is obviously not something he is good at. The simplest and crudest way is to buy all the clothes you see. But it is a pity that the root funds do not allow him to be so profligate. Therefore, he spent a lot of time picking and choosing. Then go to communicate with the furniture city. After finally finishing everything, the sky has darkened. Sai was carrying big and small bags of clothes, followed by a cart from a furniture store, and came to visit. Same as yesterday. Just arrived at Naruto's doorstep. Before I could even knock, the door opened automatically. It was as if Naruto had been waiting for a long time. When Naruto saw Sai, he was not polite at all, and directly took the big and small bags in his hand. Then looked through each piece. Although the taste of the clothes is not very good, the materials are really good, and they are barely acceptable. Naruto picked, and reluctantly accepted it with his mouth curled up. He remembered asking for something else, though. So he raised his eyes and asked, "Where's the furniture?" Sai smiled and pointed to the back. "Okay, then move them all in, and throw away the old ones, or give them to the poor in the village." Naruto suddenly smiled. This Danzo is really willing to spend money. Clothes and furniture are all high-end goods. Then let's go. Sai was taken aback for a moment, and his heart was overjoyed immediately. Difficult, could it be? But soon, Sai's illusion was shattered. A few minutes later, they were standing in front of an Ichiraku ramen shop. "Thank you for your hard work this time. Let me treat you to a bowl of ramen." Naruto patted Sai's shoulder generously. Don't allow him to refuse to pull him closer to the ramen shop. Then he shouted at the uncle who started to hit him. "Uncle. 2 bowls of special ramen, 1 beg you, this is not too high." The hand-slapped uncle said with a smile, "No problem." Soon, 2 extra large bowls of ramen arrived. Sai felt dizzy looking at the big bowl, which was as big as his 2 heads. The quantity is simply too much. But watching Naruto next to him snorting and starting to pick up the noodles, he could only eat along with him. "Wait until you finish eating." Naruto looked like he couldn't finish it. Sai has a big belly and can't move at all. It hurts to move. It was too full to eat. Afterwards, the 2 sat on a bench beside them, admiring the scenery on the street. "Mr. Naruto, you still refuse to tell me how to practice Sharingan. Do you have any regrets?" Naruto didn't answer, but looked at the shops opposite and couldn't help but sighed. "It's really enviable." Sai immediately asked, "What do you envy?" Naruto refers to those shops where people come and go. "I go out every morning to set up a stall to sell meatballs, and they are the cheapest meatballs in Konoha. I don't know when I will be able to own a store of my own. If I had my own shop, I would definitely be able to make more money. It's a pity, I can only think about it, the store is too expensive, at least 1 year's income is needed to afford it." Listen to Naruto. Sai looked thoughtful. He always felt that Naruto seemed to care about something. However, he was too simple to understand what Naruto meant. Naruto didn't point it out either. It's okay if Sai doesn't understand. As long as Danzo understands. Naruto stood up, stretched and said, "Let's stop here today. Thank you for the clothes and furniture, I will use them well. As for Sai, go back and report immediately." "What? How dare he make such a request?" Danzo gritted his teeth and roared, panting heavily. His entire chest was heaving violently, his lungs were about to explode. "This Naruto is simply deceiving. I bought ramen, bought clothes, bought furniture, and now, I still want him to buy a shop. It's just an inch." Danzo leaned back on the seat, he only felt a little pain in his heart. But so much has been invested. Sunk costs have gone down. If you stop here, all the previous investment will be in vain. Even Danzo has to feel sorry for these huge funds. That's all the funds of his organization, it's hard-earned money. Naruto is used too much here, so I have to search for other places. I hesitated for a long time. Danzo finally made up his mind. "Give. Isn't it just a shop, 453? Give him." He can't believe that Naruto won't give an explanation this time. But don't wait for him to speak. Hiding in the dark, seeing Danzo's expression, he guards Aburame and reminds him softly. "My lord, this month's funds have been overrun." Danzo secretly hated But he knew that if he couldn't bear the child, he couldn't catch the wolf. Right now he has no choice. Then deduct it from my salary. He said this word for word. It was as if a big hole had been cut open in his heart, bleeding continuously. Pain. It hurts so much. Soon. Seilu came to Naruto's door. What did you come to see me for today? Naruto asked, pretending to be curious. Sai had a fake smile on his face. I want to take you somewhere, Naruto. Naruto's heart moved, and he couldn't help but sigh that Danzo was really willing to spend the money. But there was still a curious look on his face. Where to? Sai also bought a pass. You'll know when you see it. Naruto pretended to be curious and followed Sai to a closed shop. Naruto took a closer look. Good guy, isn't this the shop that sold meatballs before? I remember that the boss was so angry that he was hospitalized before. Unexpectedly, it hasn't come out yet. Standing in front of the shop, Naruto looked confused. What did you bring me here for? Sai said with a smile. Didn't Naruto say before that he wanted a store of his own? Starting today, this store belongs to you. Hearing this, Naruto immediately pretended to be surprised. This is for me. Sai nodded with a smile and gave an affirmative answer. Immediately, Naruto's excited hands trembled. He walked forward slowly and stroked the shop door. With a look of emotion on his face. Then, he turned to Zuo and said. Thank you so much. I didn't expect you to buy me a shop just by saying something casually. It's so embarrassing, but it's also your wish, so I reluctantly accept it. Thank you so much, you made my wish come true. Sai took out a deed and handed it to Naruto. Naruto's name was written on it impressively. Naruto accepted it immediately, and said with a serious face. From today, you are my best friend. This moment. The smirk on Sai's face seemed to become a little more real. It's really not easy. After tossing for so long. The dawn is finally here, Sai asked impatiently. The answer before that. Naruto immediately looked around, looking cautious. Then he dragged Sai into the shop and closed the door. After confirming that no one else was around, Naruto whispered. That's not something you can say on the street. Sai also thought that this was a classified mission, and it was really not suitable for asking on the street. So he nodded humbly and asked in a low voice. Can you tell me now? About the Sharingan? Naruto struggled for a while, then sighed and said. Forget it. You have done so much for me, if I don't say anything, it will appear that I am too stingy. Actually, that's how it happened. Sai's ears perked up immediately, listening carefully to every word that came out of Naruto's mouth. Just listen to Naruto speak slowly. I happen to know about this too. Actually, even the people of the Uchiha family don't know that outside the Uchiha family, there is a sacred lake, just outside the Uchiha family's residence. This lake hosts a special power, it can also be called faith. Just use this lake to wash your eyes, and worship there devoutly, looking at the lake and praying every day. Even a normal person can open his eyes. And the more pious you are, the longer you pray, the more powerful your eyes will be. I was only half believing at first, but I didn't expect it to be true. I didn't tell anyone about this matter. If you hadn't done so much for me, I wouldn't have said it. This is a secret that only belongs to us, don't let others know. What Naruto said was mysterious. Sai was dumbfounded. Sai never thought of it. The answer he heard turned out to be such a nagging thing. In his anticipation, it must have a unique chakra cultivation method, or absorb the blood of the Uchiha family, and then awaken it with a unique stimulation method. But unexpectedly, it turned out to be such a method of praying to God and worshipping Buddha. It's too mysterious. If someone else said so, Sai definitely wouldn't believe it. But when Naruto started Sharingan, he saw it with his own eyes. And it was the answer he got after putting so much effort into it. How can it be impossible to deceive him? I didn't expect it to be so complicated. Don't worry, I will never tell anyone. Sai said with a smile. He couldn't wait to leave now. Soon. Root headquarters, Zuo stood in front of Danzo to report. Quickly, tell me quickly, what method did Naruto rely on to cultivate Sharingan? Danzo couldn't wait for a moment. He just wants to master this method as soon as possible, and then create a Sharingan house under his control. At that time, the entire Konoha, no, the entire ninja world will be under his control. He seemed to be able to see the beauty of the prosperous world before his eyes. Sai seemed very calm. He unhurriedly repeated what Naruto said word for word. Then, Danzo is stupid. It was exactly the same as Sai's expression after listening. Danzo felt as if he had been struck by lightning. This. How is this possible? Lake. Holy lake. What kind of joke is this? Danzo felt something was wrong for the first time. Is he being lied to? Not a special chakra practice, not some forbidden technique. Can you open your eyes just by worshipping? This is too much nonsense. But think about it. Naruto has absolutely no reason to deceive Sai, who has devoted so much for him wholeheartedly. I bought a house for him, so why are you deliberately telling him false news? There is no reason. So, even if this answer is unbelievable, it is true. Moreover, Naruto has successfully cultivated and opened Sharingan. This is the best evidence. Thinking of this, Danzo couldn't help gnashing his teeth. Wash your eyes with lake water and worship the gods in the lake. It sounds like something a pagan would do. Honestly. This kind of behavior is a bit difficult for Danzo, who hides in the dark corner all day long and calculates this and that. Just sitting there for several days or even a week is enough pain. But Danzo feels that as the leader of the root, sometimes he needs to sacrifice for everyone. Have you endured it differently for so many years? After a little thought for a while, Danzo finally stood up. There was a trace of determination in his eyes. That's right. He is ready to practice. He intends to kneel down to worship the holy lake of the Uchiha clan by himself. The wind is sunny, and there are no clouds in the sky. Another sunny day. Outside the village, the quiet lake was rippling with the breeze. There is a dense air floating on the lake, mysterious and extraordinary. The beauty of nature is fully displayed. At this time, the appearance of a figure disturbed the beautiful scenery. Danzo, leaning on crutches, slowly came to the lake. According to Sai, wash your face with lake water first. He squatted down, picked up the lake water, and applied it to his eyes. Damn it. Why is the water so cold? Danzo cursed, but immediately felt something was wrong. This is facing the Uchiha god in the lake, and the attitude cannot be presumptuous. Subsequently, he knelt on his knees, 1.4 his hands resting on his thighs, with a very devout expression. He stared at the lake without blinking. The lake water reflected the sunlight, which was dazzling in his eyes. It was unbearable. But with amazing perseverance, Danzo resisted the desire to blink. Hold it. For my great cause, it's all worth it. He kept thinking about it, trying to divert the pain of his eyes getting more and more dry. Danzo just fought against his own uncomfortable feelings. And at this time, in Konoha, Naruto rarely got up early to go out. Instead, he entered the spiritual space and played chess with Nine Tails after a long absence. At this time, the chessboard has fallen into a stalemate. Nine Tails often have to think for a long time before they can make a decision. Naruto took care of himself. Nine Tails studies alone, and the range of improvement is limited. At this time, he can easily deal with Nine Tails. It seems that the atmosphere is slightly dull. While thinking, Nine Tails took the initiative to ask. It is said to be an inquiry, for example, to complain. Hey, Naruto, does your method really work? What worship to the holy lake can open the Sharingan? Why haven't I heard of it? Nine Tails asked in surprise. And Naruto smiled, and simply said, idiot, of course it's fake. Nani? Nine Tails was taken aback. False? Then why did you tell him? Are you trying to bring Danzo into the pit? Naruto straightened his face, and at the same time he dropped his breath. He also explained to Nine Tails what he did. I did this not out of nowhere, but for a definite reason. Danzo is a big threat. If he is too idle, he will definitely focus on me. I do this, on the one hand, to divert his attention and confuse his thinking. On the other hand, it is also for cultivate the pupil power to resist the distinguished heavenly gods to buy time. Nine Tails frowned slightly, and said with a bit of concern, aren't you afraid that he will personally attack you? If he finds out that something is wrong and becomes furious, he will definitely attack you. Naruto smiled mysteriously, shook his head and said, he will not. Why? Do you know why I told that lie? Because of my lies, an unsolved mystery has been created. And a person like Danzo, the more he encounters a secret, the more he wants to figure it out. He is the kind of person who wants to control everything. So, he will never treat my people. Because if he shoots at me, it means that he will never be able to figure out the truth of this secret. No one would do something that haunts them for life, least of all Danzo. After listening to Naruto's words, Nine Tails was dumbfounded. It originally thought that Naruto was just trying to tease Danzo, but he never expected that such a collision of ideas was hidden behind such a lie as 11. It's really scheming. How old is Naruto this year? It becomes an old yin ratio. Scheming boy. Thinking of this, Nine Tails couldn't help feeling scared. Even Konoha like third Hokage, Shimura Danzo, no, the first-class conspirators in the ninja world, have been tricked by Naruto. It's a little fox. Thinking of myself, Naruto didn't move a single soldier, didn't even use force, no, even a single threat or persecution, and squeezed 3,000 people from himself. Nine Tails is creepy. TM. Am I cheated by him too? B. With my IQ, can I beat him? After thinking about it carefully, Nine Tails felt that it's better to just stay here. Unknowingly. Time passed quickly. 3 days passed. The lake outside the Uchiha mansion, at the corner. Danzo has been sitting motionless on his knees for 3 whole days. Now it's not him who insists anymore, but he couldn't move even if he wanted to. Nerves and blood vessels in the legs are compressed, causing temporary loss of sensation in the limb. Simply put, numb. If you move at this moment, the whole regression is like a torture with thousands of needles piercing your body. The pain was unbearable. However, this is still within the tolerance range of Danzo. What really bothered him were his eyes. With amazing perseverance, I endured for 3 whole days without blinking an eye. That uncomfortable pain, as if his eyes were pickled in a pickle bucket. At this moment, Danzo's eyes are bloodshot. The whites of the eyes are red. If it is not clear to me, outsiders will really think that Danzo's eyes are upgraded. Damn it. Why is it so painful? Danzo gritted his teeth, his hands were almost bleeding. But he is still holding on. That Naruto guy lasted for weeks. I've just started. How can I just give up like this? Never give up. Fight for Sharingan, the land of water. Somewhere on the border, a figure disappeared in a flash. This person, dressed in an Anbu costume, wears an animal mask. Apparently Konoha's Anbu ninja. Every time his figure flickered, he would appear more than 10 meters away. It can be seen that the body flicker technique is already extraordinary. The mission is finally over. I don't know if Sasuke made trouble. Thinking of his younger brother, Uchiha Itachi's eyes softened. I just finished my long-term mission in the land of water, and I'm finally going back to Konoha. Now he just wants to see his younger brother as soon as possible to soothe his tired soul due to long-term missions. Thinking of this, his footsteps suddenly quickened. As the figure flickered, it had already crossed a distance of tens of meters. Sudden. He stopped, looking around suspiciously. The clouds that covered the moon drifted past, allowing the moonlight to shine on the earth again. The silver light is like a layer of white gauze, covering the front. It illuminates the earth, but also makes the shadows deeper. Uchiha Itachi sensed the anomaly. Here, because it is quiet. At night, there was not even the slightest sound of insects. It was as quiet as a still button pressed by some kind of existence. Sense enough, Uchiha Itachi. A hoarse voice came from the darkness. Uchiha Itachi immediately became alert. A handful of kunai appeared in his hand instantly, but he did not act rashly. The enemy will take the initiative to make a sound instead of sneak attacking him. They should not be from the country of water. And he called out his name exactly. Obviously, the other party came here on purpose. And Uchiha Itachi is curious. Why did he reveal his identity when he was wearing a mask all the time? Move slowly with the moonlight. In the darkness, the outline of a figure can be seen slowly emerging. He stepped out of the darkness and stood under the silvery moonlight. Wearing a unique uniform with a red cloud on a black background, and a mask with spiral patterns on his face, people can't see his face. Deliberately hiding their identities, they were either someone Uchiha Itachi knew or someone whose face had been disfigured. Or, just those who simply want to maintain a sense of spirituality? Uchiha Itachi leans towards the first possibility. Because, through the mask, he saw the exposed eye of the other party. Scarlet like him, the Sharingan with the three-pointed jade. This is characteristic of the Uchiha clan. The person opposite is the Uchiha clan. Who are you? Uchiha Itachi's brain kept spinning, but he couldn't find the corresponding sound or character. He asked warily. Facing Uchiha Itachi's inquiry, Wong answered lightly. I am Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Itachi's eyes widened for a moment. His first reaction was disbelief. Uchiha Madara? That's a long time ago, dead long ago. How could it be possible to run out suddenly and appear in the country of water? Uchiha Madara is dead. Uchiha Itachi said coldly. If you want to play tricks, you have found the wrong opponent. He clenched his shuriken, and the Sharingan was already turned, ready for a fight. Obito said slowly. In the first battle with Hashirama, I really lost. But I used the secret technique Izanagi, and I thought, as a Uchiha genius, it should have some effect on you. Uchiha Itachi's face tightened. Of course he does. That is the secret technique of the Uchiha family, at the cost of sacrificing one eye, to rewrite the reality that is not good for you for a period of time. Even death can change it. He looked at the other person's mask with only one eye exposed, and suddenly understood why it happened. It turned out that the other eye under the mask had lost its light. However, while Obito's explanation makes sense, but Uchiha Itachi believed it easily. That is a man who is as famous as first Hokage, the god of ninja world. A random person popped up and said he was Uchiha Madara. With Uchiha Itachi's prudence, one will not believe until one is tested. As for how to test, Uchiha Itachi immediately gave the answer. Whoosh! Suddenly, he threw out the shuriken in his hand. Then it disappeared instantly. When he appeared again, Uchiha Itachi had come to the side of the masked man. He pulled out the ninja sword on his back and slashed down obliquely. If it hits, the opponent will be split in half by this knife. However, facing Uchiha Itachi's fierce offensive, 300, Obito didn't seem to react. The whole person just stood there, without any movement. This suddenly made Uchiha Itachi feel strange. Although his own attack was very fast, it was impossible for the opponent's Sharingan, who had 3 hooks, not to notice his movements. But the arrow is on the string, and it has to be fired. Swish! The sharp blade directly slashed at the masked man. However, what happened in the next moment completely overturned Uchiha Itachi's common sense. The thrown shuriken, as well as his ninja sword, all passed through Obito's body. But it didn't leave a single wound. This kind of feel. Uchiha Itachi just felt like he was cutting into a cloud of air. It was as if the masked man did not exist in front of him. This momentary absence made Uchiha Itachi reveal a flaw. Obito turned around and kicked Uchiha Itachi on the back of Uchiha Itachi, kicking him far away. Turning around, Lei Wang said lightly to the wind. A brat like you has been trying to challenge me for 30 years. I chose to meet you because you have good qualifications. You should be honored. Uchiha turned over in the air and landed safely on the ground. There was a dull pain in the lower back, but he could feel the other party's mercy. What exactly are you? Uchiha Itachi swallowed. In the Uchiha family, there is no one who can directly cause such harm to himself. This man is very strong, and with his mysterious mask and peculiar ninjutsu. Could it be that he is really the legendary Uchiha Madara? Take the ninja knife back. It doesn't make any sense to attack rashly without knowing the situation of the opponent's pupil technique. Uchiha Itachi was shaken in his heart. He said in a deep voice. What is your purpose in looking for me? Obito did not answer the question. It's not a big deal, I just want to ask. What do you think of the current Uchiha family? Hear the question. Uchiha Itachi frowned suddenly. He naturally knew that the current situation of the Uchiha family was not easy. As an important hero in the establishment of the village. As a result, they can't even live in the village now, and are forced to move outside the village. This incident has caused dissatisfaction among most Uchiha. He hears a lot of dangerous talk every day. If things go on like this, I am afraid that within a year, a huge conflict between the Uchiha clan and Konoha will break out. In that case, a tragedy is bound to be set off in Konoha, even more tragic than the original Nine Tails rebellion. Uchiha Itachi's thoughts raced. He didn't understand why the other party mentioned this matter. What is his purpose? Don't wait for Uchiha Itachi to answer, though. Obito said to himself. The current Uchiha family has been bullied too much, and they don't have the momentum they had when I was still there. However, if things go on like this, sooner or later they will explode. 11. At that time, the battlefield will start inside Konoha. Uchiha Itachi said coldly. I'm not going to let this happen. Obito looked at Uchiha Itachi and asked. On your own, how do you want to stop this? Uchiha Itachi was silent. Of course he knew that in this situation, no clansman would listen to him, a peaceful Uchiha. Right now, he doesn't have much choice. If you want to prevent the village from being destroyed by the Uchiha clan, he has only one way, for the survival of the village. He hesitated for a long time, then said coldly. I will eliminate the surname Uchiha from Konoha. In order to protect the village, in order to prevent the village from flowing into rivers of blood. He made the hardest decision. That is to slaughter one's own ethnic group. Make them unable to continue to rebel. To this, Obito smiled. In order to protect the village, do you not hesitate to kill your own people and let yourself be stained with blood? It's really righteous. Uchiha Itachi frowned. You've got what you want. Now what do you want to do? Obito took 2 steps forward, came to Uchiha Itachi, and said softly. I'll help you do this. Uchiha Itachi's eyes widened, somewhat surprised. This is the Uchiha clan you founded, you. Obito cut him off. My Uchiha is not such a weak guy. If I was here, why would there be so many voices against us in the village? Those guys don't deserve to be Uchiha. Uchiha Itachi closed his mouth. He could hear the meaning in Obito's words, obviously. Obito also has a lot of dissatisfaction with the current Uchiha. Although the purpose is different, but what the two want to do is the same. Uchiha Itachi didn't think he could kill a whole family by himself. But with the powerful help of Obito, the success rate has increased a lot. I will contact you again. During this period, don't act rashly. To get true happiness, you must first go through this road of no return. Konoha. The sun is shining. Noon. Naruto is thinking about where to go to solve the problem of eating. Although I got a year-old ramen from Danzo, but that doesn't mean he has to eat ramen all year long. Even if it is delicious ramen, it will be boring. So, he decided to change his taste, but not long after wandering the street, he saw a familiar figure. Black hair, black pupils, and tears on his face. It is Uchiha Itachi, one of the 4 great laughers. But Itachi was not alone at this time. Next to him, there is a cute little girl. Long black hair and pupils, pure face, full of tenderness and consideration. It is Uchiha Spring. At this time, there was a box of biscuits hidden behind Quan. After walking in front of Uchiha Itachi, he handed over the biscuit with shy hands. Itachi-kun. This is a biscuit I specially made for you, please accept it. Izumi looked worried and looked at Uchiha Itachi pitifully. Obviously, Izumi at this time is still a cute girl who likes Uchiha Itachi. However, for her kindness, Uchiha Itachi just put on a gentle face and said calmly. Sorry, I still have work to do, I can't accept this cookie. Quan immediately lowered his head in disappointment. Itachi nodded and said, then I'll go first. After speaking, he left in a hurry. That eager look. Naruto didn't think he was working for anything. Uchiha Itachi, the ultimate brokon, is basically not interested in women. In such a hurry, he must be eager to see his younger brother. Watching Uchiha Izumi standing where he was, disappointed watching Itachi leave. Naruto felt that he couldn't just watch. Come on, let's take Uchiha Itachi's girlfriend away. Quan held the biscuit box in his arms, and walked with his head down, full of disappointment. Sudden. Bang, accidentally hit someone. Caught off guard, Quan was knocked down immediately. The biscuit box slipped out of his hands. That was her heart. At this moment, Quan's heart was filled with unwillingness. Don't tell me if you were rejected. Do you still want to fall to the ground and let others trample on it? At this time, whoosh, a gust of wind blows. Then, almost like teleportation, a palm firmly grasped the biscuit box in the air. And the solid arm also blocked her waist, preventing her from falling down. Feel sorry. I'm very sorry. I didn't look at the road just now. Are you not injured? Uchiha Izumi looked up in a daze, and saw that golden hair and those blue eyes. Thinking that she was still hugged by his waist, Yuan's face suddenly became rosy. Naruto is naturally not an apprentice. After he stabilized the spring, he let go of his hand. Sorry. I was just thinking about things and didn't notice the front. I don't know if Miss Sister is injured. Quan suddenly felt shy. Hastily shook his head. No, no, Naruto smiled gentlemanly, and then began to strategize further. That's good. By the way, let me introduce myself. I'm Uzumaki Naruto. I'm 5 years old and 10. Oh, I should be 6 years old now. I live at number 23, Harmony Road, Konoha Village, Land of Fire. Parents are absent, single orphan, height 151 centimeters, weight 47 kilogram. Hair color is yellow, pupils are blue, shoes are size 37, waist circumference is 265 inches, boxer style, cannot accept briefs. Favorite food is meatballs, fish, prawns, barbecue, steak. Poochie. Hearing Naruto's introduction, Izumi couldn't hold back his laughter. Then I felt that it might not be very polite, so I waved my hands again and again. Sorry, I shouldn't have. However, Naruto was relieved and interrupted her. Finally laughing. Quan froze. Naruto said with a smile. Miss, didn't you notice? You had been looking sad just now, but now you're better, and you really look good when you smile. Quan was taken aback for a moment, his already rosy face suddenly became even more rosy. No one had ever said anything like that to her. This moment, she felt warm in her heart. Thanks, she whispered. I am Uchiha Izumi, just call me Izumi. Naruto nodded, then looked at the biscuit in his hand and asked. Well, Sister Quan, this biscuit smells delicious, did you make it yourself? Quan was taken aback for a moment, and then looked at Cake King with a complicated expression. When she saw the cookies, she thought of Uchiha Itachi who never looked back. This made her feel a little lost. She raised her head, smiled reluctantly, and said, yes. Can I eat it? After a pause for a few seconds, Quan nodded. Naruto immediately opened the box, then picked up a piece and ate it. Then, his eyes lit up. This biscuit is delicious. It's not inferior to the ones baked in the cake shop. Sister Quan's craftsmanship is really good. Are you a pastry chef? Hearing Naruto's heartwarming praise, Azumi's heart surged with enthusiasm, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help showing a satisfied smile. As for Naruto, quickly add another kill. I just said, Sister Quan should smile more. What a cute smile. Izumi blushed immediately, patted Naruto's arm, and said reproachfully. Hurry up and eat, don't be silly. Naruto hummed, and quickly finished a box of biscuits. I'm done eating. As he spoke, he handed the empty box to Quan to see. Quan accepted it with a smile, and then wrapped it in a cloth. Although I didn't give the biscuit to Itachi, it's still good to help a cute little brother. The most important thing is that this younger brother is very good at talking. Every word makes me feel warm. It would be great if she really had such a well-behaved brother. Moreover, his arms really feel safe. Thinking of this, Quan's cheeks suddenly flushed. What are you thinking, Wangs? Quan, sober up. How many years older are you than him? She was thinking wildly. Suddenly, I felt my arm being pulled. Looking up in surprise, Naruto was looking at her with a hearty smile. Let's go. Where are you going? Quan was dumbfounded. Naruto immediately hammered his chest with his fist, and said solemnly. As a man, if you get a gift from a girl, you will be rewarded 3 times over. What? Quan was slightly taken aback. How old are you? You call yourself a man. And it's just some biscuits, it's nothing, how can it be so serious? Naruto said with a serious face. Then how can it work? No matter how small the biscuit is, it is also Sister Quan's heart. Hearts are priceless. As he said that, He held Kwan's hand involuntarily and led her to the commercial street not far away. Girls' gifts should be returned 3 times. Isn't this a matter of course? How can you make such a good girl like Sister Kwan sad? Kwan became more and more dazed. Although she has never heard of Naruto's truth, she does not reject Naruto's toughness in her heart. Such tenderness and consideration, and his humor. Is this the man? Man. Is there such a type? I thought it was Uchiha Itachi's cold look. Thinking of Uchiha Itachi, and looking at Naruto in front of him, the scale in Uchiha Izumi's heart suddenly started to deflect. Come to the clothing store. Only then did Kwan see that this clothing store was a high-end store. The clothes inside are very expensive. She just graduated not long ago. I don't have enough savings to afford the clothes here. Sometimes, when she passed by, she always wished to take a second look. I didn't expect to come in this way today. Holding Naruto's arm, Izumi whispered. Naruto. Let's get out of here, the clothes here are too expensive. I appreciate your kindness, but I can't let you spend so much. Naruto patted the back of her hand, reassuring. Just choose. Sister Kwan. Don't look at me like this. I am the most popular ball shop owner in Konoha village. Don't talk about buying a piece of clothing, it's not a problem to buy one. Kwan still had some resistance. That's too expensive, it's just a handmade biscuit, it's not worth your money. Naruto said seriously. Although it is just a handmade biscuit in Sister Kwan's eyes, I have eaten Sister Kwan's heart and soul. That is unique in this world. How can you deal with it casually? I don't even think these clothes are worthy of Sister Kwan's wishes. If I wasn't too stupid and didn't know how to choose a gift, I would definitely choose a suitable gift for Sister Kwan. When Kwan heard this, he didn't dare to say more. She was afraid that Naruto would really pick it out himself, and pick a gift that she couldn't even imagine. Instead of that, she might as well choose one that is as cheap as possible. That would make her feel better. Hey! If I knew it earlier, I wouldn't have followed me just now. Kwan complained in his heart, but a trace of sweetness began to spread from the depths of his heart. This troubled but sweet feeling made her very comfortable. The confused subject tried on several sets of clothes. When she came back to her senses, the shopping guide lady next to her was already carrying several packages with a smile on her face. Naruto, these are too expensive for me. Even if you want to give me one is enough, I can't have so many. Kwan said with some embarrassment. Naruto patted Izumi's shoulder reassuringly, and said with a smile. Compared with the biscuits made by Sister Kwan herself, these are just a little thought. If you think it's expensive, make me a few more cookies. Kwan looked at Naruto helplessly, knowing that he was no match for him. But at this moment, she felt an extraordinarily sweet feeling in her heart. Are there any other boys who are so considerate? Just eating a box of your own biscuits, is it so good to yourself? In contrast to another, the entrance to the residence of the Uchiha clan. Naruto did not go in after sending the spring. Thank you for today, Naruto. Izumi blushed and looked at Naruto with gratitude. Being with you, I don't know why I am very happy, but next time I will definitely not spend so much money. Naruto nodded with a smile. Of course I listened to Sister Kwan's words. Then at 9 o'clock tomorrow, I will be waiting for you at the old place. Kwan rolled his beautiful eyes. It's still the same place, we obviously only met on the first day. Yes, it's only the first day we met. Why do you feel so comfortable? Kwan's heart was full of sweet doubts. Carrying big bags and small bags, I returned home in a happy mood. Huh? Kwan? Where did these clothes come from? Kwan's mother saw the large and small bags of clothes at a glance. Yes. Immediately, Izumi carefully talked about what happened after meeting Naruto. Then, he looked at his mother pitifully, waiting for his mother's trial. However, Kwan's mother didn't say anything, but said with a smile. It seems that Kwan in my family has grown up and is beginning to attract people's liking. Eh? Kwan was taken aback for a moment, she didn't expect her mother to react like this. Then, she saw her mother take out the clothes one by one and admire them carefully. It seems that the guy named Naruto has a good eye, these clothes must look good on Izumi. By the way, Kwan, if you have a chance that day, remember to bring him over and let me have a look. What? Kwan was completely taken aback. This How did it progress so fast? The next day. The weather is fine, and it is a good time to inspect Konoha and the family. After eating breakfast, Itachi went to the training ground to practice and warm up. After a long assignment, he was on leave for a short period of time. However, as a self-disciplined ninja, he must always ensure that he is in the best condition. After the practice, Uchiha Itachi plans to go home and change his clothes, and then go to visit the clan. He wants to make sure that everything in Uchiha is under his control. In this way, it is possible to formulate a plan for extermination in the future. On the way back, Uchiha Itachi felt a tense atmosphere at home, and Uchiha Madara, whom he met at the border of the country of water, came to his mind. And their upcoming plans. His heart was still full of struggles, and he didn't want things to come to this point. But he can see the situation in the clan every day. It seems inevitable that things will go to the last step. And he had no choice. Either choose the tribe, or choose the village. Out of love for the village, he chose the village and chose to abandon his tribe. But there is one person who he cannot turn his back on. That is his most beloved brother, Uchiha Sasuke. There is no way, it is impossible for him to attack him. And he would never allow that Uchiha Madara to attack Sasuke. Oh Dudu. I hope one day, you can understand what I did. It's all for the village, for you. Uchiha Itachi sighed silently. Thinking room. He suddenly saw Uchiha Izumi. Today's Uchiha Izumi has also carefully dressed up and looks more beautiful than usual. Still holding a box of biscuits in his hand, it should be baked by himself and given to himself. Seeing this box of biscuits, Uchiha Itachi thought of what he did to Uchiha Izumi yesterday. Although I have no interest in her, this girl seems to be wishful thinking towards me. If she doesn't even accept a box of biscuits, it will probably make the girl sad. After feeling a little guilty, Uchiha Madara took the initiative to say hello. Good morning, Izumi. Well, yesterday Well, good morning, Itachi-kun. Uchiha Izumi interrupted Itachi, barely even looking at him, and hurried past Itachi. This moment. Yuji-bo Itachi felt as if he had been poured with cold water, and suddenly felt a little surprised, and felt a little lost in his heart. The dull Itachi didn't know. There is a feeling called habit. When someone or something you are used to suddenly disappears in your world, you will find yourself very uncomfortable. Formerly Uchiha Itachi often met Uchiha Izumi giving gifts. But he never accepted, and the other party never gave up. Over time, it becomes a habit, but today, Uchiha Izumi suddenly ignored himself. It was as if a piece of meat had been dug out of his heart, and it was empty. See the back of Uchiha Izumi leaving. Itachi didn't know what was going on, but she always felt a little different. Quan is indeed different. After yesterday's experience, she found that she didn't have only one choice. The contrast between Naruto and Itachi is so clear at a glance. Compared to Naruto, people like Uchiha Itachi are nothing. If you want money but no money, you want demeanor but no demeanor, if you don't care about him all day long, getting along with him will only make you disappointed. That being the case, why not choose Naruto? Hey, it's okay, letter. 10 minutes before the appointed time. After arriving at the agreed street, Quan checked the time and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. She adjusted her breathing so that she would not look too eager and embarrassed. At this time, she was already wearing the light pink dress that Naruto bought for her yesterday. Wearing a pair of high heels of the same color. The clean and simple style makes people feel very pure and elegant at first glance. A head of long black hair is attached to the back softly, like a young lady at home. Naruto probably hasn't come yet. Quan straightened his pace, and then walked towards the agreed place. Then, she saw that Naruto, who was wearing a light blue casual suit, was already waiting there. Has he arrived? Quan was shocked in his heart, and also felt a little anxious. The pace under his feet quickened, and he immediately greeted him. Don't rush. What are you doing walking so fast? What if you fall and get hurt? Naruto went up to meet him in a gentlemanly manner, and gently held Izumi's arm. Quan blushed slightly, but he didn't ask his own question. Didn't you make an appointment at 9 o'clock? Why did you arrive early? Naruto immediately said as a matter of course. Isn't it right to wait half an hour in advance for a date with a girl? Ding. Involvement succeeded. You have obtained 100 involution points. Quan slightly covered his mouth. When did she enjoy this kind of treatment? When doing daily tasks, she is basically the one who arrives early. She was also a good student who was never late for school. This feeling of being waited on by others was really new to her. Izumi looked at Naruto with rolling eyes. Bits of emotion emerged from my heart. Not long. Naruto took Uchiha Izumi to the nearby hotel he had booked. This is one of the high-end restaurants in Konoha village, and it was also the restaurant I ate when I was away from Yurihong last time. Welcome both of you, this way please. The waiter bowed slightly and extended his hand to invite with a decent smile on his face. Led by the waiter, the two came to the window on the third floor. The waiter hands Naruto the menu. Naruto didn't look at the menu, but looked at Izumi first. Quan, do you have any taboo foods? Quan shook his head and said in a low voice. I also can. Naruto nodded and continued asking. Then, can you eat cold food? Can you eat spicy food? Listening to Naruto's thoughtful question, Izumi felt his heart was wrapped in warmth. She showed a smile and said, Don't worry about me, I can eat anything. Naruto then looked at the menu. Then I chose a few signature dishes and handed the menu to the waiter. Please add a cup of hot brown sugar water. The waiter smiled and nodded. Okay, Mr. Naruto. The waiter left and soon came back with a flat cup of hot brown sugar water. Mr. Naruto, your hot brown sugar water. Naruto didn't answer, but raised his head to signal the waiter. The sugar water is for this lady. Didn't you see that her face is a little pale today, so drink some sugar water first to replenish blood sugar. The waiter immediately said apologetically. Sorry, I didn't think carefully, please forgive me. The waiter gently put the water on the hand of the spring, then bowed and left. Seeing the steaming sugar water, Quan felt shocked. At the same time, I feel sweet in my heart. How can you take care of people so well? Quan covered his mouth, opened his eyes slightly in shock and said. Naruto said with a natural face. Accompany a girl to eat, observe her words, ask her if she can eat seafood, if she can eat ice, and make her feel cared for like a baby. Isn't this what you should do? Early in the morning, misty. On the streets of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Itachi, as usual, walked silently and observed secretly. And at this time, he met Uchiha Izumi. Izuna is still beautiful today. She put on another piece of clothes that Naruto bought for her early, put on the jewelry that Naruto bought for her, then dressed up carefully, and then left home. Itachi was already very curious about Quan's attitude change. He stretched out his hand and wanted to call Quan. But what he never imagined in his dreams was that today's Quan, without even looking at him, just hummed a nice tune and left quickly. Itachi suddenly felt bad, but he couldn't tell where the pain was. What happened to Quan? Why is there such a big before and after change to him? What about the Uchiha Izumi who thoughtfully gave himself cookies? Where did you go? Naruto sighed. Once again a great day with Uchiha Izumi. Uchiha Izumi, on the other hand, has almost completely ditched Uchiha Itachi for Naruto's side. But although the girl has, but as Konoha Scroll King, just having a girlfriend is not enough. So Naruto didn't stop, he had to keep working hard. Next time, it depends on whose girlfriend is not optimistic. Izumi dated until the evening before the two separated. After returning home, Naruto began to check the cultivation situation of the Sharingan on the side of the avatar. During this period of time, he needs to check it every day. After all, Sharingan is the top priority right now. It is related to whether he can stay in Konoha safely in the future. The consciousness is synchronized to the clone. Naruto's brows stretched, and a satisfied smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It's done. Although it is still a single hook jade. But he just communicated with the avatar. Now it is able to bear the illusion of 3,000 people at the same time. 3,000 people, superimposing the power of illusion at the same time, for one person. This kind of strength, to be honest, is not Naruto's physique. The others may have been stared to death. Ready to go. Now let's see the actual effect. Go to bed early. Before dawn the next day, Naruto left the house fully dressed. He directly turned the observation haki to the maximum. Then ran to find someone near the Uchiha tribe. Soon. He found today's goal, Uchiha Shisui. That's right. Naruto is going directly to Uchiha Shisui for an experiment. Rather than waiting until later to face off against the uncertain distinguished heavenly gods, it is better to try Uchiha Shisui in front of him now. This is safer. At this time, Shisui was practicing body flicker technique in the practice field outside the village. Since seeing Naruto perform body flicker technique with Itachi last time, he knew that his body flicker technique was far inferior to Naruto. Although he has a gentle personality, he is not a person who likes to fight. But how to say is also called the person who is called Shisui. If even the most proud moves are surpassed by others, where does he put his face? So, he now wakes up early every day and practices hard. Although painful, but it has been rewarding. Stand in the middle of the training ground, he closed his eyes and breathed slowly. Subsequently, open one's eyes, the figure disappeared instantly. The next moment, several Shisui appeared in the corner of the training ground at the same time. But soon disappeared. This is afterimage. Because the speed is too fast, the shadow left in the air. At the same time, shurikens are constantly being launched from the positions of these afterimages. Constantly intersect in the air, changing routes. Then it hit the target that had been arranged very accurately. The whole process didn't last too long. After just a few breaths, Shisui reappeared in the center of the practice field. Compared with just now, he seems to have expended a lot of energy. Panting like an old cow. Looks like that's not enough. It can also be faster and stronger. Shisui couldn't help comparing himself to Naruto. The body flicker technique performed by Naruto in the past is just like a miracle. You must find a way to reach his level, but at this moment. Sudden. Shisui frowned and immediately looked to the right. He noticed someone approaching, but after taking a closer look at the other party's background, he immediately put away the kunai in his hand, and said with a smile on his face as if nothing had happened. So it's Naruto-kun, I didn't expect you to get up so early. It was Naruto who came. Oh, you are practicing here, did it bother you? No, it's really time for you to come, the cultivation just ended. Shisui smiled slightly. The name is right, what do you want me to do? Naruto nodded, not intending to be polite to Shisui. Said directly. Is such that. I heard that you are the strongest phantom ninja of the Uchiha clan, and I want to ask you one thing. Shisui suddenly felt curious and couldn't help asking. Please? What's the matter? Naruto said. I want to experience the strongest illusion you have. Hear this. Shisui suddenly felt a little surprised. What's the situation? Do you want to experience my illusion? He wondered how Naruto could have such a thought. Yeah, I haven't had an illusion yet, so I just thought. Naruto lied naturally. But Shisui's expression turned serious. Naruto. Having an illusion is not a good experience, it will be very uncomfortable, and it is likely to experience some very painful things. If you just want to experience it, I advise you to find someone else. My words are too strong and not suitable for you. Seeing that Shisui was about to leave, Naruto quickly explained. Oh, don't be so rigid. I'm just curious about how powerful the strongest illusion is. And you are so powerful, you must be able to accurately control illusions, right? Besides, don't many people say that Jinchuriki can't fall into illusion? You can use your strongest illusion to create a less dangerous scene, and see if I can hit it. Isn't it over? Shisui thought about it, and that's okay too. Even if the distinguished heavenly gods are very strong, as long as he doesn't let his will do some dangerous things, he will be fine. For example, just use illusion to modify Naruto's will, so that Naruto will mistake him for someone else, so that Naruto will not be injured, and there will be no psychological shadow. Okay then. Just let you see, my illusion. Shisui nodded in agreement, closed his eyes, then opened them suddenly. In the eyes is already the Sharingan of the three-hooked jade. Then, he stared sharply. The pupil power was immediately urged down. What about Naruto? Who is in front of you now? Shisui asked. Naruto looked surprised. Ah. Isn't it still you? What are you talking about? Shisui frowned. Among the illusions he created, Naruto should regard him as a teacher in the school. However, looking at Naruto's indifferent appearance, does it really have no effect on him? Shisui thought about it and changed his goal. Becomes third generation. There must be a reaction now, right? After all, it is Hokage, and it is impossible for anyone to see it and say nothing. What now? Shisui asked again. However, Naruto still stood there, even scratching his head in doubt. Well, have you started? Are you already changing? Naruto asked curiously. Sweat broke out on Shisui's forehead. Wait a minute, it's not good yet. Ask for flowers. Shisui didn't feel right. Good guy, his 3-god Jade status is completely ineffective against Naruto. Is it true that Jinchuriki can't be tricked? Shisui thought about it. It can be regarded as the realization of a rumor that I heard. But it is only an ordinary Sharingan that is ineffective against illusions. What if it is your strongest distinguished heavenly gods? Have a try mentality. In Shisui's eyes, the Guyu deformed and turned into a strange shape. It looks like a boomerang with 4 corners. Naruto's heart shuddered. Although just now Shisui's illusion was successfully resisted. But now it's time to start. If successful, he wouldn't need to worry about Danzo's problems. Shisui hesitated before making a move. Is it a little bullying to directly use his strongest Mangekyo Sharingan just for testing? But the 3-hook jades are not easy to use, so he has no choice but to use Mangekyo. If Naruto was hit by an illusion, he would just undo it immediately. Thinking of this in his heart, he urged his pupil power. This time he modified Naruto's will, making him cry frantically to himself. However, Naruto remained where he was. Calm and unresponsive, rich and unresponsive. Shisui was shocked. Impossible. I obviously activated the illusion. Why is Naruto not responding at all? How is this possible? Shisui panicked all over. His distinguished heavenly gods are the most powerful illusions in the whole ninja world. Can directly modify people's willpower, and without being noticed by the other party. So far, it's all hit and miss, and I haven't failed once. Calm down, it is likely that I did not launch successfully. Shisui kept hinting in his heart. Right. Try again. Shisui urged Hitomi again, and stepped up. But Naruto still didn't move, standing there calmly. He even looked a little surprised. This time, Shui was completely dumbfounded. His Mangekyo didn't work. How is this possible? And at this time Naruto's side, he could indeed feel a powerful force trying to invade his brain. However, he was blocked by his complete mental strength. Now, he completely relaxed. It really worked. He managed to block the distinguished heavenly gods. Then you won't have to worry about someone controlling yourself with distinguished heavenly gods. Looking at Shisui's distraught look, Naruto scratched the back of his head and said innocently. What's the matter? Is it still not okay? Hearing this, Shisui only felt a pain in his chest and was about to vomit blood. He just tried a few more times while Naruto was distracted. But none of them worked. When he recovered, his pupils had returned to normal. Shisui said with a wry smile, it has ended. Naruto said with a look of surprise, it has ended? But why didn't I feel it? Don't illusions work on me? Shisui shook his head with helplessness in his eyes. Alas. I also want to experience the feeling of illusion. Looks like it won't work. Naruto looks like Versailles. Shisui really wants to vomit blood. Although it didn't help. Thank you anyway. Seeing Naruto walking away with an innocent face, Shisui's best wry smile became even more bitter. He never expected that his distinguished heavenly gods would fail one day. He also thought that his distinguished heavenly gods were the strongest illusion. There is no one in the whole ninja world who can resist it, and it is almost 100 hits. Result. It doesn't even work on a child. The former Shisui was still considering whether to use the distinguished heavenly gods to control the tribe so that they would not rebel. It now appears that 6 needs to be reconsidered.